Hello children, today let us study about prehistoric period, that is the third lesson of history. Let me go to the introduction of the lesson. In this lesson, the difference between the historic period and the prehistoric period is made clear. The origin of Earth and development of living beings is also explained in this lesson. Changes that gradually appeared in the life of human beings in different ages like Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age, Neolithic Age, and Iron Age are noted here in this lesson. Now, before we go to the lesson, let me tell you some new words from the lesson. Can you see here? The first one is reptile, which means animals that creep or crawl. Example, snake and millipede. Amphibian means animals that live both on land and in water. Example, frog. Mammal, animals that feeds its baby. Example, cow, goat, etc. Biped, animals which can stand and also walk on two legs. Example, gorilla and man. Let's enjoy the lesson. Children, you know, history can be divided into three major periods. The first one is prehistoric period. The second, proto-historic period. And the third one is historic period. In the history of human beings, prehistoric period covers almost 99.9%. Therefore, the space given to prehistoric period in the history of mankind is very little. The criterion used to classify the above three periods is the availability of script or writings. The period in which no record of writings is found is often considered as prehistoric period. Example, the Stone Age. Next, the period that has a record of writings, but it is not understood by the succeeding ages, is known as proto-historic period. Example, the period of Harappan civilization, which you will be learning later on. The period that has a distinct record of writings and can be read and understood by succeeding ages is known as historic period. So here children, you have understood the meaning of prehistoric period, proto-historic period, and also the historic period. Read once again and find it out properly. Next, we go to the origin of human beings and development. Scientists say that the earth was born 4,600 million years ago. The first living beings appeared on this planet were single-celled bacteria called prokaryotes. These bacteria were capable of living in the absence of oxygen. They used to get necessary energy and nutrition from the environment. Then, some 4,000 to 2,500 million years ago, lichens or algae were seen. These in the future became the source of evolution of plants and animals. If we consider the world of living beings, fossil evidence of microorganisms as old as 3,500 million years have been traced in Australia. Apart from that, Fossil evidences of microorganisms as old as 2000 million years were found in Sandur Taluk in Karnataka. In this road to evolution, 570 million years ago, fishes and other aquatic living beings, 438 to 408 billion years ago, insects, 408 to 360 years ago, amphibians, approximately 320 million years ago, reptiles, 248 million years ago, dinosaurs, 213 million years ago, birds and mammals, 65 million years ago, huge mammals, and 25 million years ago, apes got evolved. 5 million years ago, bipeds, and 1.8 million years ago, human beings got evolved. In this process of evolution, first single-celled organism, then molluscs, then fishes, plants, insects, amphibians, flying insects, reptiles, birds, mammals, flower-bearing plants, grass, apes, and bipeds got evolved. Some 1.8 million years ago, evolution of human beings took place. Human beings who physically features were similar to modern man first appeared in Africa. It is believed that from there they migrated to various parts of the globe and they settled there. At present, this theory is subjected to lot of criticism. Here children, you can see stages in prehistoric period. There are three different stages in prehistoric period. Let us study them briefly. That is Paleolithic stage, Mesolithic stage, and Neolithic stage. Paleolithic Age. This period is the beginning stage, which is also called as archaeological stage of human history. Human beings of this period lived upon fruits, edible plants, tubers, etc. Being nomadic in nature, they lived in caves and rocks shelters. They made variety of simple stone tools like scrapers, knives, cleavers, burins, and microlithics from quartzite and flint. Can you see the picture there of the tools which they used in the Paleolithic age? Let me continue. They used large leaves and bark of trees as clothes. Fruits, edible plants, tubers were not available in all seasons. In the last stage of Paleolithic age, they learnt hunting and fishing for food. They learned to control fire. Important sites of this age are Milan Valley in Uttar Pradesh, Hunasangi and Baichambal in Karnataka, Kurnal and Amravati in Andhra Pradesh, Athiramapakam in Tamil Nadu, etc. Generally, the period between 5 lakh years and 12,000 years ago is recognized as Paleolithic Age. Let us go to the Mesolithic Age. This is the period between Paleolithic and Neolithic Age. Hence, it is called Mesolithic Age. During this period, human beings started using small tools that were more efficient than the bigger one. Hence, this period is called as Microlithic Age. These smaller tools were fixed to a wooden handle and used as spears while hunting. They were also gathering wild nuts. The food was not available continuously. They started rearing animals that were wounded during hunting or rearing the offsprings that were found during hunting. These animals were the secured source of food for them. This slowly led to animal husbandry. The Mesolithic Age human beings roamed around in search of food for themselves and their animals. Whenever they stayed or wherever they stayed, they used to draw pictures on the rocks and were used as their shelters. Animals' hide was used as their dress. They knew fire and its utilities. Bhimpetka and Adamgarh of Madhya Pradesh, Brahmagiri and Kanakanahalli of Karnataka, Bagur and Ganeshwar of Rajasthan, Birbanpur of West Bengal, Vanpasari of Andhra Pradesh, Sarai Naharhai and Mahada of Uttar Pradesh are the few important places of that age. Mesolithic period was between 12,000 and 9,000 years ago from now. Here, children, can you see the picture of wooden, which are having wooden handles? The spears with wooden handles. The man in his hand is having the spear with a wooden handle. So they used during this period wooden handles to hunt the animals. Now let us go to the next age, that is Neolithic age. The Neolithic human beings were into animal husbandry. They often faced shortage of food for themselves and for their animals. So these people started producing their own food during Neolithic age. They started cultivating crops on the alluvial soil on the banks of the rivers, which was very fertile to grow crops. So agriculture provided food to them and fodder to their animals. This enabled them to settle in one place, leaving aside the life of wanderers. Like this, agriculture became the first step in the direction of cultivation and culture. The first evidence of agriculture in Indian subcontinent is found in Mehergarh of present Pakistan. While the people here constructed houses of sun-dried bricks for living, the people residing in Barzomi of Kashmir dug underground shelters when they faced the problem of storing the grains produced. They manufactured handmade pottery. Later on, after the introduction of wheel, the manufacturing of different types of varieties of pots became easy. The tool stones were sharpened and used. Sanganakallu of Ballari was one such center of such stone tools. They were using hand axe and other tools made out of bone. The evidence of Neolithic age are found in Banahalli, Brahmagiri, Budihar, Hallur, Piklihala, T. Narasipura, Uttanur of Karnataka, and Chiran of Bihar. The period of Neolithic age is usually fixed as between 9,000 and 5,000 years ago from now. Here you can see the pictures of Neolithic age, their weapons, the hunter man, they're rearing the animals and also producing food crops which had become their occupations. And you can also see some major Indian excavation sites of the Neolithic, of the Paleolithic and Iron Age and Bronze Age. You can also compare a map which is shown in your text. That is, let me tell you the page number. It is on page number 64 in your textbook. You can go through that and also read the lesson and note down all the sites which you can see in all the three stages. That is the Paleolithic Age, Neolithic Age, Iron Age, and Bronze Age. Now, lastly, we go to the Metal Age. The use of metals began by the end of Neolithic period. The first metal that human beings used was copper. Then, the people of Metal Age learned producing bronze by mixing tin and copper. Bronze is an alloy and it is harder than copper. Let me tell you about the Copper and Bronze Stone Age. As the quantity of copper and bronze tools was very low, stone weapons were continued to be used along with them. Therefore, this period is called as Copper and Bronze Stone Age. This age began about 5,000 years ago. Here, in this age, agriculture and cattle rearing were the prime occupations. They designed pots manufactured by using wheels belong to this age. Copper implements and jewelry have been found. Bronze implements were helpful for deep cultivation of land and for the conversion of forest land into cultivated land. As a result of this, there was a rise in the production of food grains. By transporting excess food grains to needy places around, the trade started. Consequently, in the valleys of river Sindhu and its tributaries, a grand culture like Harappan civilization could arise. Historians identify it as the first urbanization ever happened. In South India, the use of bronze was less when compared to the use of copper. The evidences of copper and bronze Stone Age have been found in Hallur, Banahalli, Brahmagiri, and other places in Karnataka. Here you can see the burials of Megalithic culture. Can you see the picture where they buried the dead? So it is their burial place. Iron and Stone Age. Iron is a hard metal, as you all know. This was in use in South India long before copper. In South India, it was in use as early as some 3,500 years ago. This is called as the period of Grand Stone culture. In the tombs of Grand Stone culture, stone circle was constructed around the chamber where dead body is kept. Red and black colored pots were commonly placed in such chambers in Karnataka Common people called it as hut or houses of Pandavas, stone of Mauryans. Iron weapons and implements were helpful in agriculture and handicraft. As the use of iron increased in North India, agrarian activities geared up. Thus, there was surplus yield. Some 2600 years ago, the class which controlled surplus yield emerged as ruling class. They were the republic states. Thereafter, Nanda, Maurya empires became prominent. Important sites in Karnataka that belong to Iron Age are Benahalli, Hirebenukalur, Brahmagiri, Koppa, Hegadihalli, T. Narasipura, Hemmigai, Hallur, Jedigenahalli, Savanadurga, Hitradurga, Pandavara, Dinni, etc. Thank you, children. Thank you for watching. Please show some love. Like it, share it, subscribe it, press the bell icon.